Hey, what's up, y'all? And thank you for tuning in to the Water Bearer podcast. We are back with another episode tonight. I'm really excited about this one. If you have not already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel today and make sure to like and comment on these episodes and just, let me know your thoughts. You can catch the drip or catch every episode every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we are just moving right through this season. We are almost done. I can't believe this is episode 8 already. So almost at the end of the season here. And again, welcome to the Water Bear podcast. And I'm very excited to have the guest that I have on tonight. I've known him now and he can correct me if I'm wrong when he comes on. I think it's been about 10 years at this point. I think somewhere around there. We first met at an author event. It was an all-male, kind of like an author's panel. And our tables were right next to each other. And we really clicked. Really, out of everybody, I clicked with him the fastest. And so we kept in touch, through the years and, still kept in touch. And, he even keeps in touch with my parents. I met my parents and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely excited to bring him on. He is a Pisces, so we are talking about Pisces on this episode. So really interested to get into this conversation because I know Eric is well versed in astrology. He is an author, very great speaker, just all around great guy, great personality. Always ready to turn up, have fun. So always a great person to be around. Like you want to uplift your spirits. So I will go ahead without further ado, bring in Eric. Hey, what's up, Eric?
What's going on, Carlos? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm well, man. I'm recovering from the birthday shenanigans, man. Pisces season turn up for the big 4-0, man.
Hey, 4-0. Okay. So if you could tell, and I had this every guest to do this, if you could tell us your birthday, the day and the month, just for all of the listeners and viewers.
Okay. Well, I was born on February 21st.
Okay.
1983, 6:21 a.m. That actually means a lot when it comes to astrology for your natal chart, your rising, your moon sign, and all that. So that plays a lot when it comes to one's personality, knowing your natal chart. Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that. I want to get to that. So we always kick off the show too with a famous Aquarius. So a famous Aquarius, if you all don't know, is Michael B. Jordan. So not to be confused with Michael Jordan, who I've mentioned is also an Aquarius on a previous episode, but they both are Aquarians, actually, Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. But to get into that rising sign and the sun, wait. Before I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So if you could just let the viewers and the listeners know more, about yourself, or if you want to tell anything about your book, or one thing I've been wanting to ask you too, are you working on any other books?
Currently, no. I kind of not working on any books right now. Doing other things. I'm a very prolific guy. So
okay.
On to the next one.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, okay. So getting back to that rising and the sun and the moon sign, all that. So I knew of basically the sun sign, which is the one basically everybody knows. And then I started investigating like rising and moon. And it's so key that you said that at the time of day that you were born, because I've realized I had to have that information to find out mine. And so I was born at 5, I think it was either 5:09 p.m. or 5:17 p.m. I think it was 5:17. But I was shocked because, and I talked about this on one of the other shows too, but my rising and my moon are both in Leo.
Oh, that says a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So, Does it? Okay.
Somewhere. Okay.
Okay. So tell me what yours is, and then let's kind of dissect that. I guess both sides.
Okay. So I think the reason why we get on so well is because, well, for one, being on the 21st of February, I'm right on the cusp of Aquarius. So
Right.
I have Aquarian energies and Aquarian traits.
Mhm.
Also, my rising is Aquarius as well.
Really?
Yeah, my rising is Aquarius. I guess that's why I get along with Aquarians. And it's kind of a tug of war between Aquarian and Pisces because, I'm not really the emotional type, but because the Aquarian trait come in, my moon is in Gemini. So every time I say that, folks be like, oh shit, Gemini moon gets a bad rep, so, and
That's funny. Okay.
and also your Mercury, your Venus, and Mars are coming to play as well. So my Mercury, which is your communication sign, that's in Aquarius as well. My Mars and Venus is in Pisces. So the Mars is your drive in life, and your Venus is kind of like your relationship sign, how you would act in a relationship, and that's in Pisces as well. So I have a lot of air qualities and water traits. Yeah, man.
Okay, so you just hit me to something because I've heard, I was reading here recently about the Mercury and Venus. So how do you find those, for those that are watching and listening? How do you find those signs? What information would you need to find that?
Well, you have to do your natal chart, and I mean, there's a lot of websites out there that will allow you to do your natal chart. So all you need to know is the time you was born. That's very important because that will determine your rising sign. The time you was born and the place. The place is extremely important because I mean, if you're born in if I was born in New York and someone else is born on the West Coast, they would have a different trait. So the time you was born and the place you was born and your birth date, those are the main components that will give you your accurate natal chart.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of basically the same components then as what you would use to find your rising and your moon sign too.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And that's interesting. Now I'm kind of weird. I don't know if it's just me, and I've told people, I've mentioned this on a couple of the other episodes, I click very well with Cancers and Geminis. So it's funny that you say you have what is it, Gemini moon?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that. And one thing that I wanted to ask you too is, I know you said you kind of have this tug of war between Aquarius and Pisces, because one thing that I've noticed about you, where I don't think you're a typical Pisces that I know,
I get that all the time.
Yeah, you are not emotional, and I feel like Pisces is one of the most emotional signs. I would say probably behind Cancer.
Behind Cancer, absolutely.
Cancer is like the most emotional
number one.
Me. Yeah, and then I would say
Scorpio
Pisces would be next. You said Scorpio?
Yeah, Scorpios can be very very emotional and they're very sensitive as well.
Yeah, so that's interesting that you kind of brought that up. So would you say, as far as feelings go, do you have separate pockets as far as like maybe your emotions with relationships versus friendships versus professional, or is it just kind of all the same?
Bro, you hit the nail right on the head. I'm telling you, I separate everything. So
really?
Everything. I separate everything. And it's based off of my experience, in life and all that. So I'm a type of person, I absorb emotions, I absorb feelings. So I always surround myself around positive energy and positive people. I can't, because I can be easily influenced, or I could be easily influenced with other people's emotions. So when it comes to friendship and all that, I'm very non-emotional, very aloof, and but I'm also very caring and compassionate and honest. But when it comes to relationships,
I think it's an Aquarius trait.
That's an Aquarian trait.
Yeah.
But when it comes to relationship, that's when the Pisces thing kick in, and I could be very, man. I'm a totally different person. I can't lie, bro.
I can't see that.
I know, man.
I can't see it.
A lot of people don't get that, man. I mean, they don't get that from me. They don't get that side from me because I don't show that side to just any and everybody, I mean, I'm no punk or nothing like that, but I mean, I'm a very caring and giving person when I'm in a relationship, so And when it comes to business, I'm extremely direct, straightforward, and it's all about business. I don't mix business with pleasure or anything like that, because when it
Right.
comes to my money, I mean, you're not gonna mess up where I lay my head at. So
Hey, right.
yeah, so
I
I
feel you.
separate everything, man. I separate everything, bro.
That's and it's funny that you mentioned that the separation because to be honest, I'm type of person I really don't walk around saying, "Oh, like I know I'm good at this or I know I'm good at that." But I am very good at compartmentalizing.
Hmm.
So much so to the point where it really kind of caught up with me in a bad way last year. So I kind of had to like, "Oh, okay." Even though I compartmentalize things, I had to kind of take a step back and say, okay, I'm still one person that's living and doing, all of these things and going through all these experiences. Um, so one thing, and you kind of led me to it, is so one of the traits that I've seen a lot online about Pisces and even Pisces that I know is that they are big empaths. So I think that's interesting to be an empath, but then you say that you may not, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, maybe not show or not be so emotional, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's because Pisceans, they oh man, Pisces can be very very sensitive people, and they we don't like rejection. So
Mm,
when it comes to and plus, I mean, Pisceans are very secretive as well. So we're not. I mean, we're gonna
could see that.
we're secretive and we have a lot of layers. So we're not going to give
Uh-huh.
you all of us at the same time because we're wondering um how you gonna treat us and how you gonna handle us and all that. So if if you meet a Pisces or whatever, I mean, you're gonna get the good energy and all that, but at the same time, it's so much deeper to a Pisces than the surface. Once you
Mhm.
get to know them, you have to kind of peel off the layers and all that. Then once you get to know them, then you get to know the real them eventually. But we're never going to give you all of us in the beginning because we're skeptical. We always reading the room. We're making sure that we don't fuck with somebody that's going to me- mess with our hearts or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Because yeah. So I mean, that's how it is.
Right. And, it's funny. I think even though I mentioned I do the famous Aquarians, but sometimes I like to throw in famous people of the sign to my guests too, because I think sometimes it kind of helps paint the picture. So the person that keeps coming to my mind for Pisces that is a celebrity is Erica Badu.
Yeah,
And
vibe, baby, a vibe.
yeah, yeah. And so I mean, Erica Badu is like, and to me, she has a lot of Aquarius energy too, to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I find that with a lot of Pisces, there's not a lot of middle ground. Like it's well, the ones I know, it's like, either it's kind of more on the Erica Badu spectrum, or maybe the other side, where maybe you do have to kind of peel back some of those layers, like you said.
We could be extremists now,
Yeah.
now because okay, so when you look at the zodiac sign Pisces, right? There's two
Mhm.
fishes,
Right.
and if you pay attention to the sign or the glyphs, it's two fishes going in the opposite direction. So
Mhm.
in life, Pisces are constantly fighting with each other because both fishes are going in the opposite direction. It's kind of like a tug of war in life. So
Okay.
it's like a yin and yang with us. There's a good fish and then there's a bad fish. There's a fish that's trying to swim upstream, then there's
Uh-huh.
another fish that's trying to swim downstream. So throughout life, our main goal is to try to find the middle ground because we can
Right.
go 100 or we
Yep.
can go we need to go to
Right,
heaven
right,
or hell. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
right.
Somewhat similar of a Gemini, but not nowhere near it. All right, because Gemini they on some different shit. But yeah. So
Right.
that's kind of like how the Pisceans are, man. In life, just trying to find that middle ground. Um, and also, Queen Latifah is a Pisces. George Washington, our first president, is a Pisces.
I didn't know that.
Common is a Pisces.
Okay.
Um,
I did know the
yeah,
comment was. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
there's others too. I just can't think of it right now. But yeah, yeah.
And see, you give me more. I'm glad that you mentioned common because from what I know about you, you give me more that side of Pisces vibes,
Hmm.
like common kind of vibe,
Yeah,
like a little bit like
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool, man. I mean, I get on with everybody, man. I mean, my main motto is that, I mean, let's just have fun and live life. Life is too short,
Mhm. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I mean, I'm put like this. Everyone who've met me, and I mean, I'm going to toot my own horn. All right. They always say, yo, Eric's a vibe. Eric is cool, whatever. If you don't like me, that's because there's something wrong with you. Because I get on with everybody. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You feel me? I get on with everybody, man.
Yeah,
I just
yeah, you do. Yeah.
I just want good energy, man. And just positive vibes, man. Just everyone have a good time. That's all.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And one thing you mentioned earlier about you feel like you mentioned the reference of the two fish kind of going in opposite directions. One thing that I've read about Pisces, and again, I'm telling you, I don't, in some ways, I think you have Pisces traits that are spot on, but some of the stuff I was reading, I was like, I don't see this. So
Mhm.
one of the things it said was being indecisive, which I
Mm.
feel like is more of first of all, I feel like it's more of a Libra trait. But I
Mhm.
want to ask you, do you consider yourself to be indecisive, or do you have indecisive moments?
I definitely have indecisive moments.
Really?
And those moments people don't see.
Uh,
I have, yeah. I don't show that side because I'm pretty sure of myself and
okay.
what I want and who I am. Like I said, I'm very straightforward. However, the certain decisions or whatever, it may take me a whole damn hour to make certain decisions because I want to make the right decision.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm very methodical in that regard, and I want just want to make the right decision. So I'm gonna sit and ponder and say, okay, I weigh out all my options first, and then all right, cool. Then I make a decision. Then
Right.
it'll be times I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this, and
Just
then
do it.
hope for the best.
Yeah.
you know, So yeah, I honestly say that I can at some time, depending on the situation, I could be a bit indecisive. Yeah,
Huh. Okay.
yeah.
And when you do you find that when you make those kind of quick on the draw decisions, do you find that most times it's the better decision, or do you find yourself maybe on the other side like, oh, I should have thought that out a little
Nah, it's a better decision.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it really
Okay.
is. Based off, and it stems from my personal experience in life.
Hmm.
It kind of take me when I made an impulsive decision. It's based off of my experience of life because I've experienced it before. So it's kind of like an automatic decision. I just go that way, and it's usually the right decision. And
Right.
sometimes I overthink things. I'm always in my head, which is
Hmm.
another pricey trait.
Me too.
I overthink every damn thing, and I do that because I just want to make the right decision.
Mhm.
And I weigh out all the possibilities of what could happen. So yeah, I'm always in my fucking head.
Yeah. And, it's funny you say that because I feel like that's a very Aquarian trait too.
Mhm.
Because I'm the same way. Like I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking, analyzing, probably too much sometimes. I just feel like sometimes I can't even really just turn it off because, like you said, you want to make the best decision. And the one thing I admire about a Pisces, though, where I think is different from Aquarius, and I wish I had a little more of this energy, is Aquarius people we're stubborn. I mean, I just gotta woo,
Man, that's a damn understatement.
and we're
Y'all are
stubborn
stubborn.
too.
Y'all stubborn. Y'all, yeah, everything's a damn debate.
Yeah, yeah, we do like to.
You
Now,
know what I mean?
I'm
It's like,
probably not as big of a debater as some Aquarians, but
right, right,
yes,
right,
we
right.
do. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
It's like, but you know what? Excuse my language, but I fuck with y'all because it's like I know I'm going to get a definite answer. I
Mhm.
mean, y'all going to keep it real, and I like that. I don't like anyone that's going to bullshit me.
Yeah.
Just be straight, honest, and straightforward with me, and then I'll handle that accordingly. And that's what I like about Aquarians, because and that's some of the traits that I have
Right.
with my rising being Aquarius, and I'm on the cusp of Aquarius. So yeah, man, yeah,
Yeah.
you right.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's woof. Yeah. I feel like Pisces is a little more adjustable in their decisions, or Pisces, and not like you, definitely very strong headed, strong minded, but um oof,
Yeah, we
Aquarius
go with the flow,
sometimes.
man.
Yeah.
We kind of we're Aquarians are real kind of stern and stubborn.
Mhm.
Pisces, man, we go with the flow. We're the hippies of the zodiac. So we go with the flow, free love. You know what I'm saying? Just hey,
Right.
yo, whatever. I mean, that's us.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for all the other bullshit, but we just go with the flow.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
It's all
I
about
love
having
it.
fun. It's all about having fun. Which can be a negative trait for Pisces as well.
What, having fun?
Yeah, because
Like
of the
too
thing
much
about it.
fun?
Yeah, so Pisceans, we love to escape. We love to escape the pressures of reality. You know,
Man, I'm
so
telling you, you must be sitting here looking at my phone because I had these notes. And one of the, okay, and I guess you confirmed that that's true
yeah, man.
because one of the traits that I saw about Pisces, and I didn't realize this, but it said that Pisces are often escapists. They
Yeah.
love to do things that escape reality.
You will find a lot of Pisceans, they're really into, the mystic arts, music, astrology and all that. Well, hence, that's why I'm
Right.
into astrology.
Mhm.
I mean, they're just into things that has to do with spirituality and just being just a free spirit.
Right.
So yeah, yeah,
Huh. Okay.
and
Okay. Um, so how do you think all of this plays into? I know you mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show that you celebrated a milestone birthday this year. So belated happy birthday, or happy birthday again, I should say.
thank you.
But yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So how did you feel about turning 40? Because the way I see you, I feel like you would be the same if you were like 80. So I don't it doesn't seem like age is really that much of a factor for you. But
Yeah.
how did you feel you know, approaching that milestone and then, hitting it?
As while I was approaching 40, I was actually scared, and the reason why I
Really?
was scared, yeah, man. The
Huh.
reason why I was scared is because last year I was surrounded around a lot of death. I would say
Oh,
maybe close to 20 people in my life that was close to me, friends and family, had passed away.
oh man, I'm
And um, and I'm like, damn, I mean, it got to the point where I'm like, yo, I mean, am I next?
sorry.
And I'm like, yo, am I going to make it to 40? And then I quickly had to get out of my head and say, you know what, Eric, just live your life like you've always lived your life,
Mhm.
and approach 40, and grab it by the balls and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So what I did was I set out some goals that I want to achieve while I'm 40.
Okay.
I purchased a saxophone because I always wanted to play the saxophone. I did that. I want to brush up on my Spanish. I'm doing that. I'm getting my project management certification. I'm working on that. I've always been a traveler, so I'm just going to just travel some more. And
Right.
also, I've always been the type of person, that really didn't give a fuck about what people thought about me. So now it's like times 10 because I'm 40.
Right. I've heard that from a lot of people that like 40
Yeah,
is just like fuck it. You just don't you
yeah,
just
man.
yeah,
And
yeah.
going back to what you were saying about, I guess, the escapism.
Mhm.
One thing about it that I have to really be careful with, is the whole, because the Pisces are known to when they escape, they can turn to drugs, alcohol, and all that. And
Mhm.
you see a lot of them be on like mushrooms and all that too, because it's like an alternate reality. They want to be in that alternate reality and
Uh,
just sit there,
right.
and just be there
Just
for a while
being
to
there.
escape the harsh realities and all that. So that's one trait that could be a negative trait with Pisces that they need to watch out for.
Mhm.
So if they can control that, then we could conquer the world.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I commend you for what you were saying earlier too about you were, and I hate to hear that. I didn't realize that you were surrounded by that much death. Approaching 40. I feel like I do understand how you feel though, because I just made 38, so I'm not that far from 40 myself. And I feel like once you hit 35, that's when you start seeing a lot of death. Or to me, it's like when you start seeing a lot more death, and then death that hits close to home, where you see people that are kind of like your age that are dying, and yeah, it does cause you to kind of feel like, oh,
it's like, I mean,
what's happening next.
it's inevitable. I mean, as you get older, other people get older, and people are going to start to die off. So,
Mhm.
I
Right,
mean,
right, right.
when you think of it like that, and so it's like, wow. But it's different whenever it hits close to home, and it's like,
Mhm.
whoa. especially when it's all of a sudden and you're not prepared for it.
Right.
It
Right.
makes you put life in a different perspective, through a different lens. It makes you stronger, actually. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, man.
That's true. I read something else about Pisces about you all having, and I do agree with this trait,
Hmm.
a bit of a psychic ability almost.
To read your
Very
mind, boy.
intuitive, very intuitive. I would say again, uh, I probably would put Cancer at near the top of that list too. But I would say people, I think they often sleep on Pisces intuition.
Hmm.
It's very very strong. So I'm just curious with your goal setting and reaching 40. Um, are you or have you looked back at some points and maybe realized some of those moments where you did have those, that psychic ability or even manifesting certain things? Because I think that's true too. I think sometimes um there's I guess what I'm saying is there's a fine line between intuition and manifestation.
Hmm.
Because I believe whatever you say and you know put heart behind it,
Hmm.
it'll really happen.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm just curious too with you, like you hitting that milestone birthday and then um just kind of maybe, reflecting back on your life. Do you feel like you had some moments where you look back on it and you're like, oh, yep, I knew that was going to happen, or you
Mhm.
felt something was going to happen?
Oh, absolutely, man. My intuition is extremely high.
Hmm.
I I feel things, and that's a Pisces
Hmm.
trait. I feel things. I feel energy. I feel everything. I could be around someone and basically tell you about yourself verbatim,
Hmm.
and have you in awe, because I could feel your energy.
Right.
Um, and that's why I surround myself around positive people and not negative people. So yeah, my intuition, is somewhat of like a psychic thing because I know what to expect, and also that could be confused. Well, it kind of play along with my experience as well. So I've experienced certain things, so I know how to handle certain things in the future. So if I see a
Mhm.
red flag, all right, cool, been there
No.
before, can't do
Right.
that. You know,
Exactly.
can't do that. And
Uh-huh.
also, just feeling people's energy and vibes. I'm a I'm really good at that. You
Oh.
know, very good at that. And as far as manifestation, I'm a true believer that we make things happen.
Mhm.
Actions equals results. I don't believe in sitting around wishing, hoping, and praying on anything. I believe in getting out and doing it. When you take the
Right.
initiative, you're gonna get guaranteed results once you take the initiative. So
Right.
that's how, in my opinion, that's how you manifest things. Whenever you put forth the effort and plant that seed and take the initiative and make it happen, you're
Mhm.
going to get results regardless.
Yeah,
Period.
that's true.
So
That's true. Yeah, I love that. That's
yeah,
true.
man.
Okay.
That's been my motto all my life. I've always been the type. I've always been a risk taker. Always been a go getter. Inquisitive. Anything I want, what? I'm gonna try it. If I fail at it, you know what? At least I tried. And
Right.
I learned from that failure.
Huh. Huh. Okay. Okay. Well, being and I'm always so curious to know this, especially about people who have high intuition and who are high empaths. I feel like there's a lot more room there where your energy is being depleted.
Mm,
And I know, like you said, you surround yourself with positive people, but you know, being an empath, um, you're gonna come around some negative energy sometimes too. So, how
mhm.
do you make sure that you're always full and that you're always staying positive? Or what is that journey like for you?
Well, when I'm around negative energy, I tend to run the other way.
Mm,
I
okay.
now I of course I could deal with it, but I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to deal with any negative energy. I don't have to deal with any negative people.
Right.
Again, life is too short.
Mm,
So like that's me with me being very direct and all that. If I'm surrounded around negative people, and they ask me, okay, well, how come we don't do this? We don't hang out with other because you're negative. I tell them straight up, you're negative. I can't be around that. Sorry.
and so,
And
how
I'm
does
not
it
doing that.
play out?
Well, I mean, they may call me an asshole, but at the same time, you think, I
but
mean, like,
but you're being real. I mean,
I'm
and at the
being
end of the
real.
day,
I'm
you
being
gotta
real. It's a
appreciate
day.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate when people are real with me. It was a time in my life back in the day where I was negative, and I was, I guess an energy vampire as well. And there were certain people that dismissed me out of their life. I didn't resent that. I learned from that. I took a step back. I put my own life in perspective. I said, you know what, Eric? I can understand why they dismiss you because you possess this negative trait and that negative energy. Okay, bet. Now I know how to fix that or modify that to where folks won't be, I guess pushing me out of their life and all that. The people that matter,
Well, yeah.
people that matter, So it's all about self-reflecting and do some self-adjusting, and we do that throughout our whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
That's dope. I mean, I am working with. I've been told before this. I kind of almost have two sides. I think I'm a little bit like a Gemini in this regard. So
Don't say that.
You said don't say that. Don't put myself in that category. Huh?
It's not cool, but okay.
It's weird because like I feel like I'm always the person, whether it's a work setting or friend setting, they're like, oh, get Carlos to do it because he's gonna be, I can deliver truth in a way that the person probably won't realize that I maybe said something bad till they like on their way home. Like, wait a minute, he told because I say it like in a nice way. But when I get mad or when I get like really, really upset, I try to just be silent because my words are just like, I mean, it's bad. So I'm kind of extremist, I guess, a little bit in that way. But I admire people that are able to consistently be direct without being on 100 to get there.
And it's a way to do that. Delivery is everything.
It is.
I mean, it's different between being honest and being an asshole. I mean, your delivery determines that. Now, I mean, I'm not an asshole, or whatever, but I mean, with the times where I'm direct and honest, one may call me an asshole. It's probably because I'm telling the truth, and you're not willing to do some self modifications for yourself. Now, not saying that everyone need to change or whatever, but if you have 100 people in your life telling you that you're doing this or whatever, and it's hurting the friendship, then maybe
you might need to look. Yeah,
maybe you need to look into that and do some self adjusting. And not be and not have this whole ego trip. So a lot of people just need to humble themselves. So
that's true.
Yeah, man.
That's true. I mean, it's funny you say that because that's really the whole reason behind this podcast, because I've been told in a few relationships that I'm hard to read emotionally. And the first couple times I heard it, I was like, it's just them. And I was like, oh, okay. Then after I started hearing it like 3-4 times, like you said, I had to kind of start looking like, okay, what am I doing to make all of these people feel this way?
But you know what? A lot of people don't deserve, that side of you sometimes, because a lot of people can try to use that against you. I mean, there's a lot of energy vampires out there, and they don't deserve all of you. They just deserve just a little bit of you, and that's okay.
Hey,
yeah, exactly, man, and that's okay. You don't need to give yourself to everybody, because again, that's depleting your energy and all that.
Right.
We can have all the energy in the world, but I mean, we are humans. We're not robots. We do get tired sometimes.
Okay, so you brought up something interesting. So with that and not giving it away to everyone, now how would you say that should be in relationships? Do you feel it's the same? Because that's where I've heard it most. Some in friendships too, but I've heard it most in relationships. But even with that, I do see some validity in what you're saying, because I've seen situations where people do give so much of themselves in relationships, and then sometimes it backfires. But would you say the same thing in relationships too?
Relationships are tricky because you're dealing with the emotions in relationships. So you're kind of balancing out the emotions and I guess logic and reasoning, if you will. And love, emotions is one of the most, well, love is the most powerful emotion there is in this world. So it's easy to just kind of fall out of, I guess, your normal ways of thinking and all that. That's a hard one, man. I get stuck. I get stuck when it comes to relationships and all that because I'm very, like, yeah. It's funny. I get flabbergasted when it comes to that, man, because I'm very I don't want to say mechanical when it comes to that, because I want to protect this right here, because I know if this is hurt, somebody's in a world of trouble. So so
Right.
also I also open up my heart and my mind to the possibilities of it as well. I'm not closed off or anything like that. I open up to the possibilities of falling in love and the possibilities of getting to know that person too.
Right.
Again, that's where my intuition comes in. That's where the vibes come in. If I'm getting good vibes from you, all right, cool. I'm gonna give this a shot and see where it goes. But I'm always thinking, all right, cool. I'm always seeing the red flags and everything. But sometimes you get tired of that. You say, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna just surrender to love. Just surrender to it and see where it goes. See what happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the best route, because sometimes when you do that, that's the definition of falling in love. I mean, you're falling, but you have to be careful, because you got to make sure that I mean, you're always on cue and on point, and not lose yourself in love, if that makes sense.
It does, which I think is something that a lot of people do. I mean, I've done it before.
And it takes time. Like, okay, the old folks got it right. It's the art of courting. Getting to know someone. You know what I'm saying? The whole art of courting, all that is important. I'd be damned if I'm going to meet you and be like, oh, yo, we together. No, I'm getting to know you. I got to see your vibe. I got to see how you move around with other people and all that, in order for me to say, all right, cool, you're mine and I'm yours. I mean, I think that's very important.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you do have to kind of know a person's vibe and just how they like you say, interact with other people. I mean, even knowing people in different seasons. I mean, it may sound kind of silly, but just like, hey, you may be one way in summer, and in winter you act a totally different way. So just knowing people in that regards too, I think is really really key.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And speaking of, so I want you to confirm or deny this. So I'm really curious.
Okay.
So and I looked at several sources, so these were the top ones that kept coming up. But as far as compatibility goes, and from everything I found, it seems like this is more relationship based. I'll let you say it first, and then I'll tell you what I read. So what do you think your most compatible sign, or some of your most compatible signs, are in relationships?
Okay. Speaking from, I guess, being a Pisces, my most compatible signs actually are other water signs, Cancers and Scorpios. Those are my most compatible signs. But I find that they're just overly emotional and controlling. So it's like I can't deal with that. And
Wait,
then
both? You feel like it's both Cancers and Scorpios are controlling, or just one or the other?
Well, no, both.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And manipulative. Oh yes. Cancers are the passive aggressive type. Scorpios are the dominant controlling type. And both sides are extremely manipulative, emotionally manipulative. So they play on your emotions and everything. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know what? I can kind of see that a little bit. Like, I think
I can't be too. I mean,
you throwing yourself in there too.
Let's be fair. I can be too, but I'm not. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. But don't try me.
Right.
Don't try me, all right?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting that you say that, because when I think back, I haven't really. There have been Scorpios that I've been attracted to, but it didn't really go beyond that. And I think part of the reason why is because of what you just said, the control factor. Because and friends, oh, amazing friends, like
Yeah.
great
So
friends.
even as friends, I mean, I have some really good Scorpio friends. I mean, we're tight,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if they're,
Relationship, I can't. And see, to me, because they're more direct, like you just said,
and
I can see the
I don't mind
control
that.
right on. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't mind the directness. It's just the um the other shit that comes with that, But Virgos, and also other compatibilities are Virgos, Taurus, and Capricorns as well. But Virgos can be flaky, and these are my experiences. I can't speak for all of them.
Okay.
Virgos can be flaky. Capricorns, they don't like to express themselves. They want you to know exactly what they're thinking, and they give you the silent treatment of shit.
Now,
And then
see,
Taurus is, they're extremely stubborn.
Mhm.
But Tauruses are good in bed. I mean, I can't front. So
so you'll bypass a little bit of the stubbornness.
that's a little bit of that, you know what I'm saying? But they're pretty good. And now I've experienced all the zodiac signs,
Okay.
sexually, all that. I've experienced
Okay.
all of it,
Okay.
and it's in my experience, man. It's like, damn, like who can I choose? Because it's like some has great traits, but some
Yeah.
has traits I just can't deal with.
Mhm.
So I actually wrote a couple of poems about Pisces traits and sexual experiences with Pisces or whatever. I wrote a couple of poems about
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Man, that's well, you hit it right on because what I kept finding when I was researching was your top compatible signs were Taurus, Cancer, and Virgo.
Yeah, yeah.
Those were the top ones. But I getting back to that control piece that you mentioned a little bit, it's funny. I think that's why I've never really clicked with a Scorpio romantically because Aquarius people, we don't like being told what to do. So if you come, but see, there's a way to do it where now I don't think cancers are. Well, I haven't experienced well, maybe a little bit, but not so much the manipulative side.
Mhm.
But I will say cancers are very good at their delivery, and they
Mhm.
are a sign that probably could get me to do a lot of things
Mhm.
based on how they deliver it. And I
Mhm.
always tell people it's not what you say, but how you say it.
How you say it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, how you say it. But a Scorpio, the way they sometimes they just be coming now. And if I see that control head on, I'd be like, no, this ain't gonna work out.
Which is male Pisces and female Pisces are different.
Yeah,
When
that's true.
in that regard, and when it comes to relationships. Again, I could be friends with any and everybody. Well, except Geminis. Me and Geminis just don't.
So what
It's
is
all,
it about
it's
Gemini? So
all,
that's your least favorite sign, I'm assuming.
yeah, yeah. Now, again, I get on with everybody, but it's like with them, it starts real good, but then it goes left
Really?
for whatever reason.
Huh. Okay.
When it comes to love, though, that's a different emotion from being friends with someone.
Mhm.
Those are different emotional traits. So you tend to act differently with certain signs. Whenever you're in love, and then whenever you're friends with someone. So
Right.
it's I don't know. It's a weird thing, man.
Right, right. And so you mentioned the differences between, because I believe this is true as well, the differences between male Pisces and female Pisces. And then also, I'm curious to get your take on February versus March Pisces. Is there a difference to you?
So with the male Pisces and the female Pisces, all right, cool. So most Pisceans, we're go to flow type and all that, right? Most
Mhm.
female Pisceans, they like the dominant type. So that's why Pisces and Scorpios are really good together, because the female
Mhm.
Pisces, they like to be they're the epitome of femininity. They like
Yeah,
the,
that's true.
the macho man. They want that.
Mhm.
It turns them on. However, a male Pisces, um, We don't like to be now. If you push us too far or try to control us too far, you'll lose us because we don't like that trait. However, we do like a strong person. We do like a strong person. We do like a strong woman. All right. So,
Okay.
but not strong to the point where you're bossy or overpowering. You know, I like a type of woman that know how to handle herself, who know how to hold her own. I
Right.
can't deal with a damsel in distress. I can't. No. I'm
Ooh, that's me
get
too.
together, mama. Come on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be there to support you now, and I got your back. But
Yeah. But
listen,
not this woe is me every minute. And no.
that is a turn off, bro. I can't do
Me too.
it.
Yeah.
Can't
I'm
do
the
it.
same. I can't either.
I can't. Bye. Next.
Yeah. 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 I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a solutions based. Now, like, if we're in a situation where I'm getting my ass kicked, and you're gonna sit there and cry in the corner, no, I'm gonna need you to
Like I need you to
grab a brick
like
or do
something.
something.
Right.
You feel me?
Throw a shoe, something.
Right. Because I'm the type of person. Yeah. Throw a damn the table or something. Because I'm the
Yeah.
type of person. I'm always gonna have your back, regardless.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
always gonna
That's love
make the
too.
first swing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel you. Okay. And so do you think there is a because I've heard people say, and I think this is a little true, that some people have told me that
March of
Jan-
February 13th.
yeah, March and February Pisces, like that maybe the March Pisces are a little more blunt, which is interesting because you're at the beginning of Pisces. Um, and from what you're saying, really don't have a problem telling people how you feel. But do you think that there are some differences between
No,
when you said
no,
no?
no.
Okay.
Here's why. Here's why.
Okay.
I don't think there's a difference when it comes to the actual month. It's a difference when it comes to the actual days, and that ties into the natal chart. You know,
Mm,
the place, and the date that he was born. You know, so
mhm.
I mean, essentially, in theory, yes, it could be a difference between each month, but it's really on the days because I could be born I'm born on February 21st. There could be two people born on the same day, but it could have totally different traits because that person was born one person was born in Tokyo at 9 a.m., but I was born in New York at 6 a.m. So our traits could be totally different,
Right. Even though
and
it's the same day.
and that applies to all the other days as well in the season of Pisces.
Right.
So that it all depends on the day and time he was born, actually. So
Huh.
yeah.
Okay. So before we get into the game that I was telling you about, the Dead in the Water game, I
Mhm.
have one final question. I ask this to everyone on the show. So
Yep.
if you had to pick one, what do you think is the most toxic trait of a Pisces?
Mm. All right, so I took some notes right here, right? So let me go through it. The most toxic trait.
Okay. And it could be just one, or if you think there's more than one, then yeah, you can say that too. But which I'm curious, basically, like which one you think is like number one. But if there's other ones too, then
I'm
go for
gonna
it.
say I don't want to say that this is toxic or not, but I'm gonna say okay. All right, there's two things. All right, we can be a bit moody. All right, and that's
I see that.
because the reason why we're moody is because we need our solitude time. All right.
Oh,
So if we don't get our solitude time, if we don't have time to ourselves, we are hell on wheels. All
really?
right. So if you're like the type that want to be all up under us all the time, you could definitely lose us. Now, if you're the type that'll give us our space every now and then, but at the same time, let us know that you're still there and you care, but give us our freedom. Oh man, you got us forever. You got us forever.
Huh.
But we need our solitude. Oh
Really?
my God. Yes. I
Now,
need
see,
I
I
need
never
my
would have
alone
guessed
time.
that from a Pisces. Now, would you say that's a male trait versus female, or just across the board?
It's across the board, baby.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's across the board. Like, I'm telling you, any Pisces that's listening to this, they will tell you, yes, we need our alone time. I mean,
Okay.
it could be for like an hour to a whole day. It don't matter. I mean, as long as we have our alone time to ourselves, that's our
Okay.
time to recharge, We charge our energy, we charge our batteries and everything, and get our shit together, because our minds are scattered and all over the place. So that's our time to kind of center and do our thing. So that's why you find most Pisceans, we like to meditate, and we into the whole spirituality thing, because we're trying to center ourselves and find, common ground. So the alone time is imperative.
Hey, I learned something new. I mean, now I feel like I have that, and I don't know if it's so much an Aquarius thing or not, but
with Aquarian, it's more so. With Aquarian, y'all more so, just freedom oriented. You just want your freedom. You want to be able to do what you want to do. Simple as that. And if someone try to tell you otherwise, that's not gonna work for you at all.
It's not. And it's funny because I've been in situations, and when we talked, but just kind of touching back on this a little bit, where I was willing to give up freedom to a certain degree because of how it was conveyed to me. So if it's conveyed to me in a way where it's not like, oh, you're not gonna do this, or you can't do this, or whatever, then
that part,
then I might listen. But if you come out the gate be like, you can't do this, I'm like, what? No.
It's like if someone make a demand to you, whatever, you're gonna rebel. But if they deliver it in a certain way or whatever, say, all right, cool, all right, because you said a certain way, all right, cool, I do it, but watch your tone.
Right.
Watch your tone.
Right. That's it. You ain't lying. That's true. Okay.
Yeah, so I think those traits are like probably the most toxic traits, for Pisces. Another one could be, the whole escapism thing. Most Pisceans are prone to that. They have an addictive nature. So they could be addictive to alcohol, drugs. They could be addicted to sex, addicted to food, anything, because they take things to the extreme, when they do things. So it don't matter what it is. I mean, like they take it to the extreme. So I think that could be a toxic trait for Pisces as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So we'll get ready to get into the Dead in the Water game. So if this is your first time tuning into the show, how this game works is I will give Eric 5 questions, and it's a this or that. And basically, whichever one he does not want, or the one that he could do without of the two, then that's the one that he will tell me. Okay. So, and I will say, disclaimer, I have had some people on here and they're like, I can't choose, or they'll be like, I don't like either one of them. I'm throwing both of them in the water. So, okay. So that's cool too. So,
okay. All right.
So some of these, I feel like I might already know the answers based on earlier our discussion, but now I'm curious on others too. So this first one is author or realtor. If you had to throw one away, which one would it be?
Go. Realtor.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't totally sure. Okay. Got you. All right. So I'm always interested in what people say with this next question. If you had to pick between Tupac or Biggie, who would you pick? Or who would you do without?
Who would I do without? Throw Tupac away.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I guess it's the East Coast, East and West Coast things. I'm East Coast dude, so.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
now,
but I'm good on Tupac. I mean, Tupac is cool, but I mean, I just like Biggie better. I mean, I like his flows better.
Yeah. Now I will say Biggie had a he has a better flow, and he's definitely more witty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has like a comical kind of element, I feel, to his rap. Now Tupac, I think, is a perfect example of it's not what you say, but how you say it. Because lyrically, his lyrics were pretty much, I don't want to say surface, but they were like, what you see is what you get. But I think it was like the delivery behind it that was like, okay, like I'm really feeling this, whatever you're saying. Yeah,
man. And you're right. And in my opinion, I think Biggie lyrics were more so on the poetic side and more creative, versus Tupac. Tupac was like basically in your face. Biggie came with like the creativity and kind of like a poetic sense, if you will. So yeah. So,
I
yeah.
agree.
I know there's some Tupac fans out there saying, nah. This dude, get rid of this cat. He's a clown, but I'm saying about
No, that's your opinion. Yeah, and the funny thing is, if I were playing, I probably would have said Biggie to do without. But all of your points are valid, and I like Biggie, almost as much. So yeah, I think you brought up some good points. That's definitely a good point. All right, so the next one: party bus or a house party?
Oh, what was a turn up, baby? You speak my language now.
Right. I couldn't wait to see what you were gonna say on this.
House party.
Really?
House party. Yeah. House party.
I thought you were gonna throw away the party bus.
Nah. Oh, I'm sorry. We're throwing things away. Okay, yes. I'm gonna throw away the party bus.
Oh, okay. You will
throw away the party bus. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm forgetting how the concept
you good.
You
good. Okay, so this next one: empathy or sympathy? Which one can you do without?
Before I made this, I know what sympathy means. Empathy is whenever, okay, empathy.
Empathy is the one you get rid of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and last one. So I'm really curious on this one too, because both of them I feel are great, but I'm curious to see what you think. So you got to get rid of one: Denzel Washington or Samuel L. Jackson. Who are you throwing in the water?
I'm throwing Denzel in the water.
You know what? I would agree. I'd have to agree with you. And he's a amazing actor. But
Sam Jackson is just dope as fuck. And plus Sam Jackson's range, his acting range is just, oh man, this man is amazing. This is amazing in his own right. But Sam, yeah, I'm throwing Denzel away.
Sorry, Denzel. That's it. Okay, cool. Well, that is it. That was the last question. So again, definitely thank you for being on the show this evening. Really, really appreciate it, Eric. And just in closing, if you want to tell people where to follow you and all that, you can. If you don't want to, that's cool too. But anything like that, or any parting words, how to deal with Pisces, maybe tips, anything like that?
Absolutely. I came prepared, baby. Got you.
Hey,
so you can follow me on That's Mr. Leach to You. All right. So that's THATS Mr. MR Leach LEACH #2 U. All right. That's Mr. Leach to You. Or just look up Eric Leach and then you pop into my face will pop up. All right. That's the easy part. So I got a poem for you all that I wrote. Oh man, some years back, whenever I was doing my I Am Zodiac films and everything, right?
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the fishes. This is a Pisces.
Okay.
My element is water, the Arctic Ocean. If betrayed, my heart is frozen. In my mind, there's constant commotion. Breaking free is my notion. I'm very creative with deep emotions. Breaking my heart will cause an explosion. I'm caring with a lot of devotion. Then without notice, I am in motion. A little wild, but my heart is golden. You'll reap the benefits if you're chosen.
Hey.
So,
that's dope. That's dope. I love that.
Appreciate it, man. And one last one before we go. For the sex addicts out there. So this is Piscean sex, right? Let's role play. I'll be the doctor, you'll be the patient. Let me examine your body, fulfilling my infatuation. I'll take you to a fantasy world. Let's use our imagination. The forecast is hot with 100 degrees. I'm sorry, the forecast is hot with 100% chance of precipitation. Let's use whips, chains, or even knives. I want you to remember me for the rest of your life. Domination or submission is your choice. I want you to climax with just the sound of my voice. Pillow talk is fine, but the things I want to do is kinky, erotic, and addictive, and somewhat taboo. Our bodies emerging into a world of spiritual ecstasy, you lose track of time dealing with me. Let me introduce you to the wonderful world of Pisces.
Hey. Okay, now I got to wait. You said something about knives, though. Wait. I was like, I ain't gonna interrupt him. I'm gonna let him keep talking. I said, "Woo, that's knives."
Yeah, I said that because that ties in with Pisces being extreme, being very extreme. You know, and when it comes to Pisces, it's whatever you want to do. You know, they want to create this fantasy world. So if the fantasy world is it's a little rough, I bet. If it's gentle, cool. So it's like it's whatever you want to do.
Okay.
It's gonna be folks gonna get slaughtered up in here.
Right. I was like, I got to give him a chance to explain that one.
Nah, what's going on?
Oh man. No, this is great. I really appreciate you again for coming on, Eric. And
thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Of course.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now I think I did Aquarian poems as well, if you want to hear that. But I mean, this is, I mean, if you want to, you know.
Okay. Hey, of course. Hey, this Water Bear show. So
it's Water Bear show, and you know this. Hey,
yes.
So I think I did it. All right. So, all right, the Water Bearer. All right. My element is air. I'm going with the wind, a true free spirit that has no end. Rebellious and stubborn, I will not bend. I will debate to the very end. Known humanitarian and a great friend, I have your back and will defend. I am unique. I set the trend. A little detached with a quirky blend. A little something I did for Pisces. I'm trying to think, did I do a Aquarius sex? I don't know.
That's the one I can tell you. That one that you just read. That's, I mean,
yeah.
Damn, that sums up Aquarius right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think at the end of that, that was one I did for Aquarius. Yeah, man. So just give it a little Water Bearer poem.
Hey, that's dope.
Man.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, and thank everyone for tuning in to the show. Again, make sure you catch us, catch the drip every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you've not already done so, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And also, if you're on the go and you can't maybe catch the show on YouTube right away, we are available on all Audible platforms, and literally Audible too. So we're actually on Audible. So you can go ahead and check us out there. And again, thanks, Eric, for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me, man. It's great talking to you, brother. I had fun.
I did too. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, man.